It's your boy E,
It's your boy Cam.
and you're tuned into.
Well, society.
Did you ever struggle with porn?
So before I did, like, I'm blunt about it just because,
Yeah,
like,
I don't care
you know,
either.
yeah,
I'm-
no, I mean, I do. I'm
we've all
very
watched
open
it,
about it,
yeah.
just because, like, it's a struggle, bro, for many people, and
Yeah.
many people like hide it because there's a shame, and it
I
goes
don't hide
back,
it. Yeah.
and it goes back to like that bondage, you know, like people are like, I'm feeling shame of this, so I'm gonna hide it, bro. And the more you hide it, the more you eat at yourself, the more you start
exactly.
thinking about it, the more you start losing your confidence, and like I did it at first, and then I remember like watching a sermon about it, and it just talking about it, and it was like about like the marriage stuff, and it made so much sense to me.
Yeah.
And like that day I was like, I don't want to do that no more. And like I understand, like for me it was different from other people. Like other people still struggle, like people that want to get set free are still
Yeah.
struggling with that. But for me it was like that day I decided like I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And but it's been, I mean, I don't keep track of it. Some
How'd you
people
just
keep track of
decide?
it.
You just like,
I
man,
was just
that's
like,
nasty, or
like,
just
nah, I was just like, I mean, I was like, it's perverted. Like the enemy perverts everything in this
Yeah.
world, and it's like I fell for it, and
Mhm.
what can I do? Bounce back from it. I repented for it, and I decided to, you know,
But
not
nowadays
live
it's
in that.
hard to like, cause like you see a naked girl every day on
Like,
TikTok.
yeah, it
How am I
there's
supposed to like?
triggers.
Yeah.
How do you get past that?
How do you get past that?
Well,
See what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, then it goes kind of like to the hearts of like, for me, like I have like I'll go on Instagram and like the first thing that pops up is that,
I don't
and like
like
I
it.
just immediately like unfollow it, and I'm like I don't even remember like following this account, you know?
That is true,
And
bro.
it's just
What does happen if they're
and I'm
bro?
just like, but like then like I'll talk to my friends and they'll tell me the exact same thing, and I'm like, you know, well, what was your heart at that moment?
Yeah.
Was your heart at like, well, let me look at this another 5 seconds and
Yeah.
and
So that's,
and,
I
and
know that's
lust
me.
over
I
it
know that's
and,
me.
and
Like,
lust
it's
over
happened to
it,
me.
or do I just unfollow and scroll by? And like for me it's like I like immediately when I see it, I mean, like obviously it's there, so I'm not like, oh my god, but like
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let me unfollow this, like not look at it. Like it's just a consistent thing. Like it's a
Yeah.
consistent thing. It's not one of those that is like, oh, I'm just gonna do it this one time and oh my god, it was
It's
hard.
just having
But, like,
discipline
it's
to
like
not
doing
look
it.
at it, right?
I mean, it's just like just telling yourself like, hey, I don't want to look at this. Like
Yeah.
if I see it, like this is my action plans. Like, and then finding out those triggers and those stuff. Like if it's like, you know, if I'm like, for example, like some people's like, if I'm gonna get drunk and I know like I'm gonna be this like, I'm gonna feel like sexy and I want to get all up
Yeah.
on girls and stuff. Like maybe, you know, not do that.
Oh man,
Something's going on.
I'm gonna
Oh, there you go.
I'm gonna be completely honest. So it's been it was a while since I watched porn.
Yeah.
And this is recent. All right, so
Yeah.
like, I've been doing good, and God sent me a test. And how I know it's God is because it was a random number, and it was a girl just sending me a picture of like, no shirt on.
What
And
the-
like I don't have Instagram on my phone. I don't have TikTok on my phone. I do not have Snap on my phone.
Yeah.
Like I delete it every day. And I was strong for a while, and then out of nowhere, just boom, and I failed.
Bro, I don't
I
I
feel-
don't like being that person because I don't want to focus on that anymore. It's not I don't it's just skin to skin contact, and it's really just that's all it is. Like really it's not even there's no connection there. It's just sex. It's just I don't want to be that person anymore because it also takes energy away from whatever you're doing, right? And you're focusing. You have like two focuses.
Mm-hmm.
You're focused on that, and then you're focused on whatever you're doing. And I don't like that. I just want to focus on
You
this.
know what else porn does?
It
Porn
hurts. It hurts me.
Makes every thought you have sexualized.
It does.
Like
It does.
you'll be listening to something and you start thinking like wrong about it, and I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
because porn it does that.
I've
It
had
makes it-
conversations about.
I mean, yeah, it's perverse. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's the point of it. And like, I mean, we're like on the topic, and I know, like I personally like I've like fought that temptation, that demon of like doing that when I first did.
Yeah.
And I remember like talking to one of my buddies, and he was like one of the people that like I've asked to hold me accountable, and that when I was like, don't want to do this anymore. And I remember like I struggled the first couple months of it.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one time I told him, I was like, bro, it's hard right now. And he was like I was like harder than ever. And he was like, that's like the demons giving their last push. And I was like, I thought about it like that. And I was like, okay, like I'm not gonna let this thing win. And after that deal, like it just like it didn't completely go away. Like there's still times like that, and like for example, like me and my girlfriend, like my girlfriend is beautiful as heck. Like she's the person I'm gonna marry, and like I'm just like just because that pornography isn't there, like we're still waiting until marriage. So I was waiting for marriage, and she's fine as heck. Like for me, like that's the like no one compares
That's
to
the
her.
ultimate test.
Yeah.
Like it's like for me, it's like she's worth it to
To
wait.
wait, yeah.
But like it doesn't take away of the temptation, and like a lot of people like it's
That's
just
what I
like
want.
I
That's what
I
I
don't
want.
want like one thing that basically like what I guess like for the people who are listening, like it's just like the temptation. Like don't ever feel like no one gets tested. We all get tested. Like the
Yeah.
most successful people get tested. Like yeah, there's discipline, you build that, but like there's always temptation wherever you are, and it's easy. Like it's a very comfortable and it's a very easy place to be, and that's why it's always there.
I saw something on Instagram. It just makes so much sense. It's like if you don't overcome drugs, sex, porn, addictions while you're broke, it's gonna follow you when you're rich.
Mm.
It's gonna follow
Yeah.
you, and it's just gonna end up. You're
Being
gonna be
worse.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna end up being worse.
And I guess like I mean it's is what the podcast is about as well. It's about like the money and like how you kind of grow
Yeah.
as far as that, and it's just like I mean I know like I don't I'm sure y'all have said it before in the podcast like money doesn't fix all your problems. Like
No, no.
I mean it's just like it like there's so there's this thing like I live by and I incorporate like me and my girlfriend like we like I pushed her to
Mhm.
like to that same belief because it's just like for me like I see it all the time like it's like I personally pay for everything like cash like and I wouldn't finance a vehicle like a house is obviously like whatever house you get like
Yeah.
it's like at least pay the majority not majority of it but at least pay like 20% of a house if you're gonna get a house but basically everything I get is cash like and the reason I do that is because like in the Bible it talks about like it's like you're a slave to your lender or your borrower and
Yeah.
it's just like you think about that and you're like everybody's every day is paying everything on credit everybody's paying everything on a credit card and
You don't like leveraging it. You just don't.
It-
You don't feel like it's right leveraging
it depends like if you're over leveraging like I mean I've gotten to a point where like if I'm buying an investment like it's gonna be cash like there's obviously multiple views on it but like I'm a person who like I like with cars and because I just see it on the side of like business and real estate and everything like people are they'll qualify and they're going to want to get a house and then they go get a car and like they're not qualified to get a house anymore
They're spending
and it's
money
just
they
because
don't
they're
have.
spending money they don't
it.
have
Themselves in a hole.
and it's just like for me I've found it so much easier and not even that like if you have a car or
Yeah.
you have a house it a car isn't an asset for say like if you haven't bought the car and you're still paying it off it really isn't yours yet
Yeah.
and not to mention
And-
cars is the worst investment of them all
Bro,
like if you
it takes away money like bad.
right now, obviously everything's inflated. So if you bought a car last year, you could probably make a little bit of money off of it.
Yeah.
But bro, if you look back at history and you look back at just everything, bro, you walk away with a brand new Cadillac. That thing is not gonna be worth what it was a year ago because they're gonna
Yeah.
come up with a new model, and not even that. You probably might not even get half of what you bought that car for.
Facts.
So it's
Bro,
like
not
cars
to
are like
mention insurance,
yeah.
gas, and
Oh,
fixing it
The
up.
cars
too
are like
much.
the worst investment. Like every car I've ever bought was cash, and it's just for me, it's like it's mine. Like regardless, like I won't have to worry about it if I have to sell it one day.
I
Like
just finished.
know,
I just finished. I'm about to finish this month paying my car.
Yeah.
I bought it cash,
yeah,
and it feels so good. But I did borrow money from my
Yeah.
family to do
yeah,
it. But it's family, and
Yeah.
they love me, so
yeah,
it doesn't feel like they lended it to me.
Yeah.
It feels like they love me,
Yeah.
and they just
yeah. Like, I mean, for that, I mean, it's good, but like, there's just certain things like for me, like I've just noticed that there's just this like ongoing like, ongoing like psychology that like it's like at least me like I've noticed like I can so fake from real and it's just like if I see somebody and it's just like with the car or whatever and I'm like bro like you got
You
these
can
high
see it.
payments
I
every
can
month
see it.
like you're gonna be happy to have that you have like a Benz like at the end for a couple of months but one day you're like you're gonna get used to the smell of leather you're gonna get used to all that stuff
Yeah.
and it's just like the payments are you're gonna have to it's just to
You
me
put yourself in a hole for
Yeah.
what? To impress
yeah
people.
and it's just
Why? Why?
like one big person that like I love to listen to like I don't know if y'all have heard of Dave Ramsey have y'all have
yeah, I've
he's
heard
just-
Dave Ramsey.
dude
Yeah.
like the way he teaches it one is biblical like it goes out of Proverbs like the wisest man in the world he teaches off of that and it's just like that's where I got that from but it's just like to me, that's just how I've seen it, and I'm just one of those that I'm like, if if I have to finance, I'm not getting it. Like that's just me
What do you mean?
personally. Like if I have
Oh,
to
oh,
finance,
oh, okay, yeah.
obviously with like real estate investments and things like that, to me is a little different.
Yeah.
It really just depends. Like, but that's
Are
just,
you stubborn or no?
am I stubborn?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I wouldn't say stubborn. No.
No, you're not stubborn.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I struggle a lot. Like with I'm stubborn. Like I don't listen to people. And now that I'm thinking about it, you said Dave Ramsey. There's somebody talking crap about Dave Ramsey, and now I don't listen to him, and I'm just stubborn about not listening to him
Yeah.
because somebody talked crap.
Because someone else said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not your opinion. That's
And that's
Yeah.
not my opinion. I need to just be open about it. You
Yeah.
know? I need to be open about a lot of things.
And I mean that's what it goes down to. Like I said, like we're middlemen. Like
Yeah.
books, they're blueprints from previous entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs. It doesn't. I don't idolize them, but like they did something right that they're leaving in a book, and I want to learn what it was. And for me, it's like I can still use Gary Vee. I can still use Grant Cardone,
Yeah.
and I can still I can incorporate my beliefs of like I don't want to be in debt, but the way they do things,
Yeah.
like it's still a business aspect. And I mean, like I'm not saying I'm gonna like never finance everything, but
Yeah.
like the majority of it, I'm gonna make sure like when I leverage, like I'm not leveraging my life out to where like it comes back and bites me in the butt, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts. Yeah.
Like, and it's just like obviously it's just certain things, but yeah, like I'm very open when it comes to that, and those are like my beliefs as far as that, because like I said, like the car stuff, man, dude, if for people who are watching, bro, if you gotta buy a car cash, don't finance. Like
Okay.
you're gonna
I would
put
never.
yourself in a car.
I never want to do
and
that.
if you finance, bro, sell the car. Like sell it
got a
right
car.
now.
I got a car cash, and even though it's mine, I do not want it because it's literally taking money out of my pocket. Like I had to pay gas every week. I had to pay insurance.
Yeah, but how else are you gonna get to where you gotta go? You know what I'm
And
saying?
To a
it's like-
bike, you gotta sacrifice, boy.
I'm thinking about getting a motorcycle because I'm
Dude,
not gonna have to
yeah.
pay insurance on that.
Yes,
Because if
bro.
I
That's
crash,
true. Insurance.
I had a
bro.
motorcycle, bro. I filled the tank up once every 2 weeks, bro, and I was driving that section. I was
Everywhere.
thinking, you know, higher risk, but like, bro, yes, I understand. Like, I'm thinking about that right now. I'm finna go get
So
me a
many
motorcycle.
payments for a car.
that's what I'm saying.
Here, sticker, inspection sticker.
Yeah,
Like, bro, no.
yeah.
No,
It
that-
don't stop, bro.
the
I'm just
recall,
trying to
bro.
live.
I don't
Yeah.
want to do that no more. I want to sell it, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I guess there's nothing stopping me from getting a motorcycle and just starting.
I mean, like, if it's a bearable payment, like if you've, I mean, obviously, dude, compared to like if you finance a car,
Yeah.
let's say like it's a $20,000 car, you're gonna pay somewhere between $400 to $700. You know, if you're our age, you're gonna pay somewhere between $300 to $500 on insurance. But that's a month.
That's
You're gonna spend $1,000 on a car a month, and like obviously some people like they see it as worth it, but bro, like for me, I paid my car cash and I pay $150 a month of insurance.
The first time.
That's
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 a lot.
$850 that I can put into something else. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather pay $150 than $1,000. Like, that's just me. That's just
Yeah.
common sense.
That's common sense. Let me tell you a story though. Like the first time I was trying to buy a car, right? I didn't know nothing about nothing, right? And I knew I needed credit, but I was like, I'll go get a car at the dealership. And I went to the dealership. It was so funny. This guy was really trying to play me. The guy, he thought I didn't know anything because I was my dad. He barely spoke English.
Yeah.
He thought I was just some kid. And then it's funny because, you can refinance the loan. And then he said 19%.
Oh my God.
I was like, you trying to kill me? dog?" I was like, I just looked at him like blank face, and he said 19% because you don't have credit and nothing. And then
Oh
he
my
said it
God.
in such a way that he was really trying to like play me, and I was like, looking at him, I was like, are you gonna wake up?
Are you joking?
Like this dude, like he was a shark, and I was like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's business, I get it.
Yeah.
So then I just walked out. I was
Yeah.
like, no,
Nah, bro.
you sign your life.
Yeah.
You sign your life away. It was, I
Yeah.
think the car was a Kia. It was like $9,000. And then after I just found a cash
Yeah.
cash car.
And that kind of leads to like another point. Like, you know, when people say more money, more problems, like that's what I think about.
Yeah.
You know, like you know, you're saying right now, like everybody, you see that, and like, yeah, that payment can be affordable. That car can be affordable.
Yeah.
Like you can see it working out. But the thing is, like, let's say you get that car, you know, you're paying $1,000 a month, and then let's say whatever you start making a 6-figure income and you start getting another job. Well, like now you wanna raise up to Escalade. You're
Yeah.
doing the exact same thing you were doing when you had less money, but you're doing it on a bigger scale now. You want to get a bigger house, the exact same thing. And that's why I say like financing, like dude, that is a loop, man. Like you put yourself in a loop, and it's hard to come out of, because like yeah, you're getting these nice things, but are they really yours, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just how I see it. Like it's just an ongoing loop. Like when you, let's say, like I'm saying, like you have no money and you want to finance a car, you want to rent a place, like you're just giving all your money to somebody else, and you're just in that circle of going check to check. And then you can save a little bit of money or whatever.
Got a point.
But like, let's say now you start making more money, and now you start like now you get a bigger house, now you get a bigger car. You're doing the exact same thing you were doing when you were making less. Maybe you're making a little
That's
bit more money.
what is it called? Lifestyle inflation.
Yeah, and that's just
I don't
like,
want to. I don't want to deal with that.
but that's
I don't
why
wanna do
you
it.
don't finance many
Yeah.
things. Like that's why I say like I'm never gonna finance a car. Like houses, like I'm always gonna put 20% down. There's this hype that like you don't have to. Like as a real estate agent, like for FHA, like VAs, you don't have to put nothing down. Like
Dang.
0% if you're a veteran or whatever. For FHA, these two are government insured loans. FHA, you only put 3.5. The minimum you're supposed to put is 3.5 down. You put 3.5 down of a $100,000 house. You're only putting down 3,500,
Yeah.
and then let's say, closing costs are usually somewhere between 6 to 7 grand. You can get a $100,000 house for 10 grand, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just like the way I see it is like, bro, like yes, that's very achievable, but like then you put yourself in a loop, if that
A
makes
loop.
sense, and it's just like,
Buying. Yeah.
and it's not as hard to get a house as many people see it, but it's just like for me it's just like, you're gonna put yourself in that loop, but like let's say now you put let's say you have to get a house, you put 20% down, so you put on 100 grand, you put 20 grand, then the closing costs are still 6-7 grand, you put $27,000 down, dude, your monthly payment from what you only put 10 grand to when you put 27 grand are gonna go down by at least a couple $100. It is gonna help you, and then not to mention like if you get the house, like like every month, even if you put $100 towards your principal of paying that off, you're gonna pay your house off in a very short period of time. Like that $100, it might not seem like a lot of time, but it's gonna help you out like a lot, because you're not having to pay interest on that $100 that you're putting in.
Mhm.
You're deducting it. If that, yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just how, like, I've seen, like, if you have to finance, please just do that. Like, it's just, instead of having to just pay those fixed payments, because
Yeah.
that is the bank's calculator how much money they're gonna make off of you. Like they're gonna pay X amount of dollars on interest,
Mm.
and that's how banks make their money, on interest. So
If you can't afford it 20 times, then what? That's what I've heard.
So I have
You
a
can't
question
afford
for
it.
you. So I'm gonna run something by you, and since you're a real estate agent, I
Yeah.
want you to give your input on it. So, what if I was to have good credit? I used the FHA loan, right? Put 3.5%, but instead of me paying the mortgage, I put tenants in there, and the tenants are not only paying the mortgage, but they're paying me extra cash flow, and
make
then
that money.
Yeah.
as they pay off the mortgage, and then I sell the contract to the house to someone else, I gain the equity
Mhm.
in it. So how did you feel about that? Like, does that make sense?
I mean, that wouldn't even be considered your house anymore. It's just an investment,
Yeah.
It'd be considered an investment. If you still put let's say the 3.5. I mean, that's still your money that you put down on the house. If you put the 20% down, that's still the money and the equity that you have in the house. It's just interest free that you're not paying interest on. Like investments. One thing is, like, if you don't see an investment being profitable, don't get in it. Like don't go in it, especially if it's your first one. Like I know, like I see a lot of like young people, they're so hungry that they're like, man, if I just make $100, like I'm fine with that. And I'm like, bro, like you calculate everything. Like make sure
Are you fine with it?
make sure it's profitable. And
Yeah.
like as an agent, like for me, like I've seen shady A agents, and I'm just like, that's just not my personality. Like me, is just like, if I know you're gonna put yourself in the hole, I tell you don't get it. Like
Yeah.
I know it's gonna cost me, money, but like that's what I get paid for, and that's just my heart behind it. It's like I literally talk to my investor that way. I'm like, oh, we see this, we see this, we see this, and I'm like, but if you're not gonna make money, let's walk out of here. We don't need to get into any of this. Like
Yeah.
Exactly.
the opportunity will show up when it shows up, and like that's just my heart behind it. Like I know, like I said, like every salesman. Like the salesman, they're like, want to meet a quota or want to do this and that. Like me, I'm just like, bro, I live a blessed life. I'm blessed by the highest, and like I just, if I'm not gonna put you in a bad spot, because like I won't be able to sleep at night.
Yeah. Fact.
And-
That's a lot of things.
And like sometimes they'll be like, no, I still want to go through with it. Well then, like I told you, and we go through with it. But yeah, with that, I mean, that's an investment, man. Like run the numbers, make sure it's right, and like if the numbers come out right and you're gonna make money, like go for it.
Like
Like it's an investment.
he was making a really good point about making calculations. Like even though right now I'm not making that much, I make calculations every day. And at first it was uncomfortable when I first started.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's secondhand nature. I
Mhm.
make calculations and I'm able to save more money than some people that's making six figures because they're letting their lifestyle inflate and they're not learning how to save it. It doesn't matter how much money you make, but
That's one thing.
it's how you manage
That's
it.
one thing.
Yeah.
I've never spent my money on. I feel like I've never spent my money on anything stupid. Like I don't buy clothes. If I can find clothes on the street, I'll grab it and wash it. You know what I mean? I'll wear it. I don't. I literally everything I invest in is the equipment,
Yeah.
and I see it as an investment because
Yeah.
it is. And you said the same thing. Like you don't really spend your money on
Dang.
anything, and I feel like people. I don't know how do you teach people not to spend money on everything. You know, how do you,
You have to encourage them to change their mindset on money
yeah,
because money is abundant. It always will. You just have to learn how to use your time and invest in yourself because you're your biggest investment. Like you said,
yeah.
with reading books, like whether it's the scripture or whether it's
Find anything that helps
anything.
you. Like I feel
Like
like it was just find anything that
people
helps.
have done it before, and if you actually take the time and read it, you're investing in yourself, and that doesn't cost any money at all, or maybe
Mhm.
like $30 for a book or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like I've within the last year, to me, the biggest thing I worked on was a balance. Like, it's funny because like older couples always say like there's always a spender and there's always a saver, and like me in my relationship, like I'm the saver, my girlfriend's a spender, and like it's just funny because like I'm the one that like I'll go down to the dollar, and it's like, bro, if we don't gotta eat out, like I ain't gonna go eat out, like but at the same time, like she's helped me realize that like she's like, like, yes, we're saving money, but like, like
Enjoy the fruits of your
enjoy it,
labor.
enjoy
Yeah.
it too. And we're just like,
That's why I don't know how to figure that out.
and it's just
That's hard.
like when you let it go, like, dude, like I had to like tell myself, bro, let go of this money in a joyful manner. It's not gonna be worth it. Like, like with my girlfriend, like she
Yeah.
can tell, like if I like paid for something, like,
Do I go half
no,
on food? You pay for everything?
yeah, for the most part. Well, like,
Do you think it's
there-
wrong to go
um,
half?
I think like
You think
it
it's
it
like
goes down to like there's sometimes like my girlfriend she'll buy me, like, bro, she bought me my PS5 like that she does stuff like that for me, um but like as far as a guy like me, I noticed that like it was hurting our relationship because like
when you were spending
I
half?
wasn't no, not even, I mean, there was times where I was struggling that my girlfriend had to help me. Like
Yeah.
there was those times, and I hated it, and like she was just
Yeah.
like like I don't like I'm not afraid to admit, like I struggled for a while, and then she was just like I'd be like I hated like her going out, but like then she was just like it's okay, like we're things are gonna get
We're gonna
better,
do it together.
things are gonna get better, and
That's what I
everything.
hate though. Like
And
having to put the pressure on somebody else to
Yeah.
pay for me, and while I'm struggling, I don't like that. So
And I mean-
I just say go half on everything.
Yeah. And
Everything.
I mean, it just eventually got to the point where it's just like it, like I
You don't
like
even
to
think
take
about
her
it.
out, but
Yeah.
it's just like at the same time, like I can't do like we go out 3 times a day and go
Oh,
out to eat.
yeah.
Like to me, I'll be like, all right, baby, like
Chill out.
like.
Yeah. How often do you go out?
But,
How often do you
I
go out?
mean, I would say, I mean, like so I'm still in like Louisiana currently, so
Yeah.
I come down like once a month or whatever. Um,
You live
but
in an
when I
apartment
come down,
there?
we have a house down there, and but
At
You and your
20
girl?
years old,
Yeah.
You and your girl?
no, it's just me,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You just have. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You. Okay, I got you.
and we. But when I come down, I'm obviously like less lenient. When I'm by myself, like I make sure I try to eat. I don't eat out as much. I cook or whatever I have. Like I'm not
Yeah.
a like a big.
How do you stay strong to like? Because I know you have your own house. But any time of the day, she can come over. How do you stay strong not to do what you're, like, you know what I mean? Like what your skin tells you to do. You see what I mean?
Like what, as far as what?
Like
exactly?
sex. I'm talking about sex.
Oh, well, it goes to me is just like how how important she is to me, and
Okay.
how
Yeah.
just the way I view her, like
You
that.
see her as
I
ultimately your
mean,
wife.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that
Damn.
it's
It's
a
crazy.
it's hard, bro. Like I said, like I never try to like sugarcoat anything just because you know, we're on camera, I have to
Mhm.
be seen as this
No,
person.
I can
But
tell
it's
you're genuine
but
about it.
it's just like, if to me it's just like I said, like we struggle, and there's just, to me it's just like, we when we were in the world, we did a lot of those things,
Yeah.
or and it was just, for us, it was like, it hurt our relationship at one point, because like at first it was fun, and it was, and I mean, very long time it was fun. And but then one point it was like, we feel like our relationship is just so in
Why?
this.
Why is? Oh, it was
And
just
then
like
It was
skin to
just
skin.
and
yeah.
then
That's how I
and
felt.
then we had
Yeah.
to work through that, and we had to, you know, and then like, it opens doors when you fall to things like that, to, you know, look at women a certain way, or you know, just whatever it is.
Yeah.
And for just the protection of both of our hearts, like, there's times where she has to be the stronger person, there's times where I have to be the stronger
Yeah.
person, and it's just like, it's just
I think
that,
we. I
that's why
think
it's worth it for us, because we know what's behind it, and we know that if we open this door, like,
it leads to like,
it
yeah.
it leads to chaos. And that's just why I feel like,
I
And that
wish
alone is
I
like
knew that. I wish I
so
knew that.
like oh sorry you can
No, you go ahead.
so basically like if you were just to take the clip of saying like basically that sex leads to chaos,
Hmm.
like that wouldn't connect to a lot of people, right?
Yeah, they would be like,
But
what are you talking about?
it's like if you really pay attention, if
Yeah.
your relationship is based on sex or like like it's bound for destruction.
Yeah, the first time I met my ex, it was sex. First
Yeah.
day. First day, and then the relationship was built. I came back from playing baseball in California, and the relationship was built around having fun, like just messing with each other, right? And then later on, I had to try to find a way to date,
yeah,
and I mean it worked, but we just had so many things that aren't in common, and I went past those things because of the soul that connected, or you know what I mean?
and
That's
yeah, there's so many things that, like, as as men trying to succeed, that there's a conviction in, and that, like, you're like, I know this isn't, you know, the most beneficial thing,
yeah.
but there's just this lie that, like, you'll hear every time, and this is how, like, the enemy gets a lot of us. And it's
It's true. It's true.
everybody else is doing it, you know, everybody else is doing it, why can't you do it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
Mhm.
just like, you know,
But
we want to build a different kind of lifestyle. So building a different kind of lifestyle obviously takes different kinds of measures, of, as far as like,
Being
how do you want to
different.
live,
different
yeah,
type
and
of
being different, and
mentality.